Hello, 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 and welcome back to my channel. Today, I want to talk about traumatic reenactment. What is that, you say? Well, have you ever seen an error code pop up on your computer that say, this website is not responding due to a long-running script? Well, let's just look at traumatic reenactment as this long-running script. But the script is not on the computer, it's in your mind. It's like a program that runs in the background of your mind and you don't even know it's there, just like a long running script on your computer. Or let's say a virus gets into your computer and it's downloading and maybe even stealing information from your computer, but it's running something in the background that a normal untrained eye can't see. But it's just constantly running a script in the background, either to steal information or maybe download a keylogger to see what you're, typing into your computer, or maybe just to annoy you, to get you to download antivirus software. Who knows what the case may be, but there's a script that's just constantly running. Well, it's kind of like the human brain, right? So what happens is between the ages of 0 and 7, 0 and 8, as a child, we have things imprinted in our subconscious mind that come from things that we experience in childhood. So for instance, in my case, one of the many things I experienced in childhood is abandonment from my father. So when that happened, I had this script implanted in my mind that started running, and it caused me to it caused the script to replay and over and over and over and over and show up in my adult relationships. Now, why is it imperative that we really treat our children, we handle them with care, and we really treat those years with the utmost importance? I mean, of course, we should handle our children with care throughout their entire lives, but we've got to think about how impressionable they are at those ages. I just want to bring up an example of how our minds are like little sponges at those ages. Let's say, for instance, between those same ages, my grandmother was my main caregiver, and her first language was Spanish. So she would teach me Spanish, when I was very young, and I was able to pick it up real fast. So I was able to go back and forth between Spanish and English. Well, when she passed away, I kind of lost a lot of that because nobody was speaking Spanish with me. But it is still imprinted in the back of my mind, and I know if I was to be around more or immerse myself more in that side of my culture, I would pick it up a lot easier because it's been imprinted in my mind at a very young age. Because I, it was imprinted, it was programmed into me at a very young age. Whereas maybe someone that just went to school at my age right now with no background in Spanish might have a harder time picking it up. I hope I'm making sense. But you look at people that were raised in bilingual households where they were constantly speaking both languages, it's a lot easier for them to just, integrate in and out of both languages effortlessly, right? Because that was imprinted on their mind at a young age when they were little sponges. Well, things that we experience are imprinted in our minds at young ages. Unfortunately, the bad gets imprinted in our minds. So with me, the abandonment, that happened with my father, and unfortunately it's very common in today's society, that left an imprint on my mind, and that started a script that started to kick in and start running in the back of my mind. And this was invisible. It was something nobody could see. I, on the exterior, looked fine. I looked like I was navigating my life fine, even though I had this script that started running in the back of my mind. And what was that? It was this program that started running and saying, I have to fix this. I have to fix this. I was abandoned. Something must be wrong with me. I internalized that because I didn't know how to reconcile what happened to me. Not at a young age. We don't understand what happened to us. I mean, you could experience loss for various reasons. You could have a parent that works all the time. I mean, and you're not at a young age able to understand what's going on. You know, we don't know. Everyone has a different situation. I'm just communicating what my situation was. That's what I had. I had a father that abandoned me and a mother that did work all the time because she had to make up for the loss. And she was a teenage parent with a ninth grade education. So she didn't make a lot of money. So that meant she had to work 2 and 3 times as hard as the average person to make ends meet. So I got dumped off at my abuelita's house. That's pushing that abandonment wound in further, right? So what happens? This script is ignited, starts running in the back of my mind, and that made me gravitate towards relationships where I'd be abandoned. People that would not, relationships that would not last, maybe even abusive relationships, or relationships that were just not stable, or relationships where I might even cause the abandonment. Whatever the case is, this is the traumatic reenactment. I was attracted to certain situations because it was familiar, and your subconscious programming is running and it's telling you it's drawing you to the familiar thing, but your mind wants to fix the wound that was caused when you were a child. So it brings you towards these familiar experiences, which may be very unhealthy or toxic. And your mind is doing that so it can fix it. I hope I'm making sense. So it's pulling you towards these unhealthy, familiar experiences so your mind can go back and fix it. Fix the wound that was caused when you were a child. And you have no idea this script is running because it's running in the background. It's that long running script in the background that's causing the website to not come up. It's causing you not to show up. It's causing you not to operate at your optimal performance because of this long running script. That's driving you cuckoo bonkers crazy. You have no idea the script is running and this programming has been imprinted in your mind, kind of like defense mechanisms. Your brain is designed to protect you. Your brain is designed to keep you in a safe place. It's designed to make you feel better. So it's constantly taking you through this reenactment to fix the glitch in the system, to go back and fix it. Oh, I can go back and fix it this time. But the problem is you don't know why you're doing it. You don't know why you keep reliving this situation, and you're never able to fix it. You keep getting pulled towards those toxic relationships, those people that are going to abandon you, those cheaters, those abusive partners, those people that have those same characteristics of the person that wounded you. And you think that time you're going to go back and you're going to fix it on a subconscious level, but you never do. It never gets fixed. So once you kind of wake up from this matrix, this crazy matrix you're trapped in, and you realize what you're doing, then you say, okay, what wound am I trying to fix? Then you have the responsibility of going back, kind of traveling back in time and figuring out what wound is there that you left gaping open, that you've been slapping band-aids on top of. What wound did you leave without putting some antibiotic on it? What wound did you leave without sutures? What wound did you leave unattended all that time that you've been going back over and over and over and over with different partners that had the same characteristics, that you could use to fix. Go back and fix what went wrong from the beginning. Where's that wound? How do I find it? And you dig deep within yourself and you go back in time and you find that wound and then you face it and you heal it yourself. Then you realize, wow, this is why I've been attracting toxic partners. This is why I attract narcissists. This is why I attract people that abandon me. This is why I attract people that abuse me, because it's familiar. It's familiar. And I've been wanting to choose a different person with the same characteristics as the person or people that wounded me so they could fix it. It is the craziest thing ever. I always say that. And the light bulb comes on. You get to rip that wound back open, but you get to put your antibiotic in there. Take some oral antibiotics. Pray to the Lord. You get to get your stitches and seal it back up. Put a little bandage over it, but make sure you can, drain out any infection. You get to heal it. Then you learn the characteristics of a toxic partner and toxic relationships and what's been drawing you to those relationships. And you say, oh, I'm not going to do that anymore because I fixed it. I healed that wound I've been carrying around my whole life that I didn't know was there. I thought I was fine. I thought I was fine with my father abandoning me. I thought I was fine with being abandoned. I thought I was fine with being abused as a child. I thought I was fine. I thought I was fine with seeing my mother be abused. I thought I was fine seeing, her experience these things or whatever left you with a wound. You thought you came out fine because you feel fine, because you're not crying every day, because you're not bipolar or whatever the case is. But you've never been fine. And your relationships show it. Your track record shows you've never been fine. And there's this old saying, you are what you attract. It doesn't mean that, if you attract narcissists, that you're a narcissist. It doesn't mean that, but it means your core wounds match. So you might have a fear of abandonment. They might have a fear of abandonment. You might have experienced some tragedies as a child. Your core wounds match. So you're drawn together like magnets, but you're both toxic. You might be an empath and he might or she might have turned out to be a narcissist, but your core wounds match, and that's what that means. So, traumatic reenactment will have you going through the same situation, the same relationships over and over and over with different faces. But it's the same situation because it's familiar to you. And the reason is because you are running this long-running script in the background. It's been imprinted in your mind because it wants to heal the wound. I hope that made sense. It's complicated, but yet again, it's not. And it's so enlightening. And then once you get to this point of realizing this, you can free yourself. You can free yourself and move towards a better future with better relationships and a better you. So I hope that made sense. I hope this helps someone out there. And as always, if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, or need any clarification on anything I said, because I know I just say stuff off the top of my head and might or might not make sense, feel free to comment below. Like, subscribe, share. That's today's lunchtime thoughts. I want you guys to have a wonderful day, morning, noon, night, week, whatever time you're looking at this. And I'll see you next time.